Hey everyone, Rei Caldombra here. So I've been recently playing through Soul Silver again, as I have many times, and playing it again has reinvigorated my thoughts on this game that I would really like to share and talk about and vent and rant about, which is what I will be doing in this video. This will be focused on how Johto Pokemon are used by the gym leaders in Elite Four primarily in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, the games that are focused on Johto. So I'm coming at it from that perspective here. I've got Pokemon Databases page on the gym leaders in the Elite Four, and I've got Wikipedia's list of all the Johto specific Pokemon to use as a reference that I'll be using here. So this one's not going to be not really going to be a scripted video. It's just going to be me explaining my argument about how, in my opinion, Johto Pokemon are used extremely poorly in this game, and arguably probably the worst of the series in terms of using its own new Pokemon. So let's just get started. So let's first start out with Faulkner, the first gym leader you fight in Johto. It's a new region of Johto that you're probably playing for the first time through here. Many people probably their first experience with Johto was through Heart Gold, Soul Silver. So let's look at his team. All right, so off the bat, we've got a Johto flying type gym leader who uses two Kanto Pokemon. So I can be asking the question that I will be asking a lot during this video. Why? Okay, now let's quickly go in here and take a look at what other options he could have used that, are from Johto, because he's a Johto gym leader. And in Johto's game, you'd want to show off the Johto Pokemon, right? Let's see. Right off the bat, we've got the most obvious ones. We've got Hoot and Noctowl, the basic, new, normal, flying type Pokemon. Why do you fight a Pidgey and a Pidgeotto when you could have fought a Hoot and a Noctowl? These are new Pokemon for this region, so wouldn't it make sense for the first major battle of that region to feature Johto Pokemon? They're both normal flying. They're both pretty mediocre. Noctowl, yeah, is better than Pidgeotto, absolutely. But is it a great Pokemon? No. Would it be too strong for the first gym? Personally, I would argue no, probably not. You've got in Kanto, the first gym features an Onix, which isn't a crazy Pokemon, but it's stat wise, it at least has more extremes. Maybe the HP for Noctowl is a little high, but just as an example, as it wouldn't even strictly have to be one Hoot and one Noctowl. It could have been this could have just been Hoot. That on its own would have been a good change, the Johto gym leader featuring at least one Johto Pokemon. So yeah, and let's look at some other options. Ladybug and Ladian, flying types, new to the Johto region, also not present here, but they're bug types and bugs next gym, so I'll give them a pass. Crobat, obviously not. Togetic, special case, not to. So for a very early game, Hoppip. Oh, look at that. Hoppip. Or Skiploom. These are perfect prime candidates. You can even catch these Pokemon yourself, so there would have been ones you would have encountered already. Why could one of these two have not been a Hoppip or a Skiploom? So you have some more variety other than just normal and flying and not use the same line twice, which is also a recurring problem of being very repetitive and boring. So, well, including Yamaga, there's other flying types here, but get to my point. This is a Johto gym leader that does not use a single new Pokemon from Johto when there are many options. Why? I don't get it. I don't see any reason why this is at all beneficial, or at all interesting and engaging, or a good first impression for the Johto region. And just want to say while we're here, I'm not really going to be talking about the rematches, because at that point you've been the main game. Well, not even the main, you've been more than the main game, you've been the post game too. Or probably at least a good amount of the post game. And that's the game's opportunity to use Pokemon from all different sorts of regions. So this being diverse is totally fine. That's all good. So let's move on to the bug gym leader. Let's take a look here. Metapod, Kanto, Kakuna, Kanto, Scyther, Kanto. Why? We're in Johto. In Johto, I want to fight Johto Pokemon. I want to engage with Pokemon from Johto. Now, let's go back to the top and look at bug type options. We already mentioned some of them before, Ladybug and Ladian. One of the two lines of the stereotypical mediocre bug types that they give you at the beginning of the game. Why are they not represented here? Next, Spinarak and Ariados. Why are they not represented here? Why could one of these two have not been a Ladybug or a Ladian? Why couldn't the other one have been a Spinarak? Why could this not have been Ladian, Spinarak, Scyther? Why not? Why, again, are we fighting all Kanto Pokemon in Johto? Why? Like, I don't. It's hard for me to understand this. That's why I think it's very frustrating. Like, this just does not make sense from a game design standpoint to me. It's like, I think a through line of HGSS that the game suffers from. It feels like it hides or is not confident in the Pokemon they created for Johto because they're hiding it. The first two gyms, you don't fight these major battles. These are the big culminating battles that you're building up to in between each stage of the game that don't feature any Johto Pokemon. And it just doesn't make sense to me. So, sorry, not moving on yet. Yeah, Ladybug, Ladian, Spinarak, Ariados, all of those are bug options that could have been used here. Yanma isn't exactly a great Pokemon. That also could have been used here. We had multiple options. There's Pineco too, also on its own. Not a great Pokemon. It's certainly worse than Scyther. They're willing to use Scyther as the second gym, which they knew was hard, so maybe that's why they wanted the other two to be so mediocre, but these two they offer nothing to the gym battle. There are various bug types here. Could have been used, not Shuckle, because obviously the really high defense stats for that early, maybe you could argue, be too much. But again, my point. All Kanto Pokemon, why? This is just bad game design, in my opinion. Now, Gym 3, things are better. I'll go straight to the big one, Miltank. This is an example of an excellent gym ace. So I'll be positive here for a bit. Everyone, this is a difficult, memorable fight. No one has forgotten about this rollout Miltank. Everyone knows this. This is a great, excellent fight that showcases a new Johto Pokemon in a difficult battle that you actually have to put serious effort into winning. This is great. All of them should have been like this. All of them should have been focused on a new Johto Pokemon that has a difficult and engaging battle. So this is great. No complaints here. But to get back to complaints, Clefairy. Why Clefairy when there are various other cutesy normal types that could have been used here that also fit the theme? Why couldn't she have had a Sentret? She could have had a Furret, but if you want to stick with it being a lower evolution rather than a completed one, could have been Sentret. Could have been Hoo-Hoo or Noctowl, since if we go on the third line that we're not changing all of them, could have been one of those. Could have been Cleffa, could have been Igglybuff. I won't count them because they're like a rare Pokemon, so I'm not going to count them. Those are clear options. Could have been Apom. Apom's less cutesy, so I'll give that one more of a pass, but it's also just another normal type that could have been there instead of another Kanto Pokemon. But so this one's not that bad, really not worth criticizing that much because there's only two. One of them is from Johto and is an excellent Pokemon to fight against. This is an excellent fight. Easily probably one of the best fights in the entire series as a gym battle. Now, back onto the problems again. Moving on to Morty. Not only do we have the boring repetition of all four of these Pokemon being from the same line, but they're all from Kanto. They added a new ghost type called Misdreavus in Johto. Where is it? One of these haunters couldn't have been replaced with a Misdreavus? Why? It's funny. I genuinely think it's funny outside of just why. I just don't get it. Why are they hiding the Johto Pokemon from being in the spotlight? Why couldn't one of these have been a Misdreavus? I don't get it. Example of them hiding Pokemon. It's hard to even find a Misdreavus. It's pretty sure it's only in the Safari Zone. Why is it Well, I'm not here to talk about catching Pokemon. I'm focusing on battling Pokemon, but catching and finding Johto Pokemon is also partially an issue. But yeah, one of these should have been a Mischievous. Plain, simple, easy. Chuck. So they only added one fighting type line. So Tyrogue and Hitmontop. So with just one, give this one more of a pass, and it'll be less harsh because it's just two Pokemon as opposed to four opportunities to use a new Johto Pokemon. This one just had two. But this totally could have been a Hitmontop. I don't see any reason why this couldn't have been a Hitmontop. Or Hitmontop could have been the ace, which would have been better. But yeah, just again, didn't use Johto Pokemon. Jasmine has Steelix as the ace, as a new Johto Pokemon. That's good. That's all well and good. Totally fine. Why does she have two Magnemites though? Not only is it again repeating Pokemon when there are many options, but it's repeating Kanto Pokemon when there are many Johto options. Let's look at all the steel options they had available to them to use instead of two Magnemites, instead of being very repetitive and boring. Let's take a look through. We have Fortress. We're talking about level 30 and level 35. We already have multiple Pokemon that multiple aces in various games, especially up to this point already, that evolve earlier than they naturally would. So that's not an issue. Just because Fortress evolves level 38, right? 31. Nope, never mind. No excuse at all. One of these could have been a Fortress. Why not? And there's at least one more option. Scizor, that would have been... Scizor's an extremely good Pokemon, even with this mediocre movable back then, so I'll give more of a pass to Scizor, but that could have been an option as well. And there should be at least one more option, Skarmory. Why couldn't Skarmory have been in here? It's not like it was going to be used in the Flying Gym. That would have been ridiculous. So why is it not here? Oh boy, we'll get to you, Tyranitar. So again, repeating Kanto Pokemon instead of using Johto Pokemon in Johto. Why? I don't get it. Let's see. Oh, look. Same problem. Same line. Also from Kanto. This is repetitive, this is boring, and it's not Johto Pokemon. Why? Piloswine is from Johto. It's the ace. That's fine. Here. There were multiple other ice options. Let's see. We have Delibird as an ice option. Yes, it only learns present by level up, but gym leaders do not always use just normal non-TM and HM move pools. It totally could have used some of those other moves. At this point, Pokemon talking about Pokemon that are 30 and above. They could have used Ice Beam, they could have used Blizzard, that would be totally fine, that would not be too tough. So that's one option. Smoochum could have been on the team. That's another ice type that was added in this region. Pretty sure, is there someone else I'm forgetting? I feel like there's someone I'm forgetting, but I'm not seeing them, so we'll move on. So yeah, again, repeating Kanto Pokemon in Johto, same line. This is boring and repetitive. Claire is harder, but does have the repetition problem. Kendra's the ace. This one's good. This is difficult, memorable. This is more like Whitney. This is good. So I won't talk that much about Claire. So what is the theme of what I'm arguing about right now? So many of these gym leaders have Pokemon that are from Kanto, even though we're in Johto. Why are these notable, impactful battles not focused more on Johto Pokemon in the Johto region? This is something that they had the full opportunity to fix. This is talking about Heart Gold Soul Silver. This is a remake that came out many years after the originals. All of these things totally could have been done. I don't feel there's anything absurd about what I am requesting. So for the Kanto gym leaders, I'm not going to say as much. They're in Kanto. I understand them using Kanto Pokemon. So I won't talk about them as much. Of course, I do want to point out that Janine, 3/5 of her team is from Johto. Why is she? Janine has more Johto Pokemon ratio-wise than the Johto gym leaders do. Why? Sabrina has an Espeon. I just like to point that out. There's no problem with her having Espeon, but I like to point that out as we go to the Elite Four. Yes, technically Elite Four is in Kanto. Doesn't matter. We're talking about the game that is centered on Johto. So the culmination of being in Johto is still fighting the Elite Four of Johto's version. So this is not too bad. This has the 3 to 5 ratio. That's acceptable. But we've got the repetition. Why does she have 2 Zatus when she could have had an Espeon? Why does she have Slowbro, the Kanto evolution of Slowpoke, when we have a Johto evolution of Slowpoke that has the same typing, Slowking? Why does she use Slowbro instead of Slowking in the Johto region games? Why? Why are they so reluctant? Why were they so reluctant to have us fight Johto Pokemon? Koga. Koga's not too bad. 3 to 5. That's fine. So yeah, really I don't have any problem with Koga. Bruno has the one they added, which is fine. And Karen's not too bad. So the Elite Four really isn't too bad. But then to get to the culminating battles, the 2 that are on screen right now suffer from the same problem. These are the 2 hardest, considering where you are in the game at each point, these are the 2 hardest, biggest, most notable battles in the game. Lance the Champion and Red. Red, I'm going to give it pass to, because this is based on Ash. They're in Kanto. It's about Ash starting in Kanto and everything. Him having Volcano Team, that's fine. But for this, I'm talking about the principle of it. This is the big, final, culminating fight of the games that are primarily focused on Johto. He does not have a single Johto Pokemon. So if you're doing like a full, proper playthrough, the last major battle you're going to do in the games focused on the Johto region will not be against a single Johto Pokemon. Now let's go to Lance. Can you guess what I'm going to say? Looking at these Pokemon. This is the champion that you fight after completing all the gyms in the Johto region. Where are the Johto Pokemon? Think about all the past, and you can even say future champions. What do pretty much all of them do? At the very least, their ace is an impactful, strong Pokemon from their region. I mentioned that I'd get to Tyranitar. Why does he not have a Tyranitar? Why does he focus on Dragonite instead? I understand that he's the champion. There's a sister and everything with all the dragon training things. Fine, sure. But he already is a dragon tamer, as he says, that already does not use all dragon types. He's a flying tamer, not a dragon tamer. So he's already deviating from the type that he set for himself. So, but my point is, Tyranitar should be the ace here. Think about it. Cynthia has Garchomp. All the other games, everyone remembers Cynthia's Garchomp. It is because it's ridiculously difficult. It's a symbolic thing of Sinnoh is fighting Cynthia and overcoming her ridiculously strong Sinnoh pseudo-legendary Garchomp. But here, you don't have that. The big culminating fight is against Dragonite, a Kanto Pokemon. His entire team is Kanto Pokemon. If you're doing a playthrough, or maybe a more casual fan who doesn't care about doing the post-game, potentially the last notable battle you do, playing through Heart Gold and Soul Silver, is against a team that is not comprised of a single Johto Pokemon. This is dumb. This is bad. Tyranitar is the pseudo of this region. So let's see, where do you fight a Tyranitar? Oh, you do. Why is the only time, I'm pretty sure, the only time in this game that you fight the Sinnoh, not the Sinnoh, the Johto pseudo-legendary in a rematch of a Kanto gym leader? Why is this the one place you fight a Tyranitar? It's not even the ace. Like, I feel like most of the pseudo-legendaries of most games have a very notable presence, even in Kanto. Getting through Lance the first time you fight him in the Kanto game version of the Elite Four, it is very difficult, that Dragonite. It is still notable and memorable. Just like in Heart Gold Soul Silver, it is difficult to get through that Dragonite. But it still is not like, it has a noble fight that you can remember and that you have difficulty fighting it. And it makes sense that you have that because that's the pseudo of that region. Then here in Johto, you don't have that. It still is focused so much on these Kanto Pokemon. rather than the Johto Pokemon. Because like, so I hope you're understanding my point that it's almost like why are they hiding the Johto Pokemon? Why do they not want them in the spotlight? A new region, the spotlight should be on the new Pokemon. I'll make this criticism or this argument for every single region. One of the reasons why I actually like the original Black and Whites over Black and White 2 is because of how focused they are on the new region's Pokemon. This game does it the worst out of all the games, in my opinion. Yes, they did introduce a lot of Pokemon, but that's still not an excuse when this whole page, looking at the main battles, doesn't even like totally add up to all those new Pokemon. They totally could have used. They had plenty of opportunities because I brought it up. They had so many opportunities to use Johto Pokemon in these big, notable, more memorable battles, but for some reason they just didn't. And I think this is a major issue with the game. Is one of the reasons why, for me, it's lower on the list. It's just like Johto Pokemon are so much more forgettable, partly because of this, because they have so few moments in the spotlight where they really get the shine. Instead of Tyranitar shining, Dragonite is the one shining. Like instead of Misdreavus leaving an impact on you in the Ghost type gym, being the only new Ghost type that they added in Johto, the focus is on Gengar. They added one new fighting type, full evolution. The focus is on Poliwrath. They added a whole bunch of steel types, and originally they added the new steel type. But it's focused 2/3 of this battle is against Magnemites. Like why I don't understand the philosophy behind this. It just doesn't mesh with me. If you don't have a problem with it, that's fine. If you don't if you think that I'm just making a big fuss about something, that's totally fine. Your opinion's valid too. But I for me this just really brings down the game so much. When I play in Johto, I want to engage with Johto Pokemon. I don't want to fight 50 Pidgeys. I don't want to fight coughing 90 times like you do in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I would rather fight an Ariados 90 times. Or one of the other poison types that they added in this game 90 times. Not the same ones that I fought a million times in, like, sticking within this general time frame, Fire Red and Leaf Green. So many of these Pokemon that you fight here are ones you fight in the Kanto games. It's just is so repetitive and it doesn't use all these new Pokemon to their full potential. And to me, it really brings down the game. And I have various issues with Heart Gold and Soul Silver. So like to start concluding with, do I think these are like the worst games? No. No, these are better than most of the I would still say Heart Gold Soul Silver is better than the newer gens. They're still good games. They're still enjoyable games. I've beaten these games more than 20 times. I pretty much beat it at least once every single year. I still enjoy playing this game. But that's also partially because it happens to be in Gen 4. And I just love Gen 4 the most. It's my favorite outside Gen 4, then it's Gen 3. And I really love Pokemon Revolution. So I like playing through Gen 3 and 4 so that I can put the teams in Revolution. I still do that to this day. But like honestly, if the game was exactly as is, but it came out in Gen 5 instead, I would definitely play this game a lot less. Because just the Pokemon use is in general just isn't very good. Even outside these notable battles. Like let's just quickly like scroll through this. Past starters. Think about how many times you actually fight these Pokemon, even among casual battles. How many times do you fight a Furret? Like one of the first Johto Pokemon you see in the game is Sentret. How many times do you fight a Furret though? I want to say maybe once. A Noctowl, maybe once. Think about how many times you actually engage with these Johto Pokemon. It's really not a lot. And the reason why is because so many Pokemon you fight against are from Kanto instead. We're in Johto, but you spend so much time focused on Kanto Pokemon and engaging with Kanto Pokemon. And that just doesn't make for a very good, enjoyable experience, in my opinion. When if I want to engage a lot with Kanto Pokemon, I can just play Fire Red or Leaf Green, or you can play the originals, or you can play the newest remakes. If I want to engage with Kanto Pokemon, I'll play a Kanto game. If I want to engage with Johto Pokemon, then I want to play a Johto focused game. When do you fight a Granbull? Right? When do you fight a Quillfish? Can you even tell me where you catch Quillfish? I can't even think of a time you fight a Scizor. I've been these games like 20 times, 20 plus times, probably at this point. Think about how many times you fight. When do you fight a Corsola? All these Pokemon. Yeah, this might be the region that introduced the smallest amount of Pokemon, but there's still a decent amount of Pokemon here. Think about how often you actually engage with them. You fight a Hound or fight against Houndoom, I think twice. Kingdra's fine. When do you fight a Donphan? Who do you even fight who has a Donphan? Like, think about how often you engage with these Pokemon. And it's barely any. Well, things fine. Blissey, do you even fight a Blissey? I don't think so. Like, they've got all these Pokemon here. At Cargo, you're pretty sure you don't fight until Blaine. I think Blaine's like the only time you fight against someone with Mad Cargo outside of maybe one of the gym trainers. Like, this guy doesn't show up in Johto once, to my knowledge. As in terms of battles actually in Johto. Like, I hope you see my point. You know what? I wanna like Heracross obviously is a really good and strong Pokemon. But you know who else is a really good and strong Pokemon? Scyther. If you're gonna make us fight a Scyther, in the second gym, I think it'd be fine to make us fight a Heracross. Why couldn't Heracross have been the ace instead? And then just make the TM not U-turn. Yeah, it doesn't learn U-turn, but neither do Metapod and Kakuna. So could have just been a different one, but yeah, this is what I'm talking about. When do you fight a Heracross? When are you engaging with these Pokemon in the games that are focused on Johto? These are the Johto Pokemon. When I play Heart Gold and Soul Silver, these are all the Pokemon I want to engage with. When do you fight a Quagsire? Like, I don't even know where to catch Yanma. I'm guessing in Safari, probably in the Safari Zone. A lot of these ones are like locked to the Safari Zone. Like, you have to get really far in the game to actually interact with a lot of these Johto Pokemon. And I just think this is terrible game design, in my opinion. Maybe it's less an issue for other people, and I think this has long-standing impact. Because a lot of these Pokemon, like I said, I think are so forgettable because they get so little focus. The one time they would get the most focus is in Johto. Is in the Johto focus games. But in the Johto focus games, they really don't get that much. Like, again, I really think this point is notable. These are the two major fights. There's no Johto Pokemon. If there's any fights you're going to remember the most, it's probably these two. And it's probably Claire and Whitney. Claire and Whitney are mostly fine, but outside of those two, it's these two. And there's no Johto Pokemon here. So, like, this is just to wrap it up, because I could just keep talking in circles. I really think I've made that point. But yeah, I really think the use of Johto Pokemon in the Johto focus games, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, is extremely poorly done. And it makes it for a much less fun and memorable experience. Johto Pokemon gets so little. There are moments that are great, like Miltank is great. Like that is great. Jasmine having Steelix is totally fine. There's no problems there. Piloswine as the ace is fine. But then yeah, you have ones like Morty, where they just actively went out of their way to not only not use a Johto Pokemon that fits the theme perfectly, but they went as repetitive as possible as well. This is just a doubly negative. Not only do you feel like you're just fighting a slightly better the same Pokemon 4 times, but they're actively excluding Misdreavus. I want to fight Misdreavus. I don't want to fight Gassy Haunter and Gengar. I've fought them in plenty of it. I've fought them plenty playing through games like Fire Red. I don't want to fight Metapod and Kakunas. I want to fight Ladian and Ariados. I don't want to fight against Pidgey and Pidgeotto. I want to fight against Hoo-Hoo and Noctowl. I want to fight against Clefairy. I want to fight against Sentret and Furret. But yeah, I'm trying not to. And to conclude, yeah, Tyranitar is one of those Pokemon that's shafted so hard. It has made, in my opinion, so much more forgettable because it gets no genuine good focus. It's on one trainer that's remotely notable. It's only on their rematch, which is in far post game. And it makes it a more forgettable Pokemon. Like, if you're not into competitive Pokemon, why would you ever think about Tyranitar? So, like, if there are any competitive Pokemon fans like myself that are watching this, keep in mind that don't let the use of Pokemon competitively sway your opinion when we're talking about playing the main games normally. Tyranitar is very memorable from that standpoint because it is a very long-standing great Pokemon. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the actual main games that most people would engage with. And here, where's Tyranitar? Tyranitar is in a rematch of a Kanto gym. Not the main battle where you'd really want those Pokemon to shine. Like, it's just, to me, this is just terrible use of Pokemon. And no matter how many times I play the game, this just never stops bothering me and never stops feeling like bad game design. So I just really feel like this could have been done so much better. Like how I specified before, there are so many fill-ins for these Kanto Pokemon that they could have done, and that they wouldn't have made the gyms too difficult or mess with the themes or mess with the typings or anything like that. There's so many substitutions here that were just so simple and direct, but for some reason they didn't do that. I don't know if we have an explanation, probably not. As it was so far back then, and I think Nintendo's not really the type to talk about that kind of thing as much anyway. Nintendo and Game Freak. But yeah, so I'm kind of just talking in circles now. So on this particular point of Heart Gold Soul Silver criticism, I really think these are my opinions. I think Johto Pokemon are used very poorly, and it makes for a much less enjoyable gameplay experience. And a lot of the Johto Pokemon don't get much focus later. So like this is like the peak opportunity for Johto Pokemon, and they didn't get as good of focus as they could have. And I feel most of the other Pokemon games, even up till now, don't suffer from this. And I am still thinking about this now because I do play this game because I want to enjoy this game a lot. But no matter how many times I replay it, I never get used to this. Plenty of Pokemon games have minor flaws here and there, some that you can get used to and accept, but for this, I can't. It annoys me every time. So I just wanted to share. If you disagree, if you want to argue back, feel free. I am totally open to other people's opinions. I don't want to sound like, and again, I just want to reiterate, I don't hate this game. I don't think it's terrible. I wouldn't have played this game 20 plus times if I didn't like it. I wouldn't have the Lugia statue that came with getting the game on release with the game guide on my desk right now if I did not enjoy these games. But I just think the game could have been, it should have been done so much better when it came to this. Other points that maybe I can make a video on as well, especially if people enjoy this. But this is the main argument that I wanted to make. And yeah, if you disagree, please let me know. Happy to hear constructive opinions that hopefully are not completely blinded by nostalgia. Please give me your open and honest opinion as I have here. Thank you for listening.